This guy is curious about roofs, so I will show you the way I do it. I didn't want to take a bunch of time and draw everything out, so his standard is main pitch 7 and 12, end pitch 12 and 12, with a span of 48 inches, and he wants to know how to figure out the hip information. So let me show you what I do. I go to hip. It says main pitch, so I type in 7, end pitch 12, span 4 feet 0 inches 0/16. Ridge thickness, I'm just going to assume that it's a standard 1.5 inches. Rafter height, if we're using 2x6s, let's just say it's 4.375, which is 4 3/8. And then this information is what you get. Your hip length will be 2'6" 1/8". That's the very first number at the bottom. I'm reading from the bottom up. And then let's see, where do I want to start so it doesn't make you crazy? So if you look at the second and third row down, row 6 and row 5 at the top, the main hip rip and the end hip rip, those are the backing angles of the top of the hip. So if you were to rip a 14.7 degree bevel on the main roof side and a 37.64 degree bevel on the end side, then you wouldn't have to worry about the hip hap, which you see on line 3, because it would be the same as the rafters, 4 3/8. But if you don't want to rip your hip, then you have to cut the bottom of the hip with a seat cut that is the seat cut of 8.5 and 17 at 4 inches tall. So if you had to have the angle, it's 26.74 degrees. If you're using a framing square, and you know how in a framing square it's 16.9, which rounds to 17 for hips. So this would be an 8.55 and 17 angle. And that's it. So 2'6" 1/8 would be your hip, and it would work perfectly. Now you could draw that out and dimension everything also, but I like to use this calculator because it's